know Sir Ninja Man has been incarcerated for quite a while now, right? But that not stop the scammer them from using name. Them a use Ninja Man name for scam people out of them hard-earned money. And Ninja Man not like that. That we are going to talk about right after this quick intro.
Right now you know we unstoppable. Unstoppable, that mean them can't stop ya. Unstoppable, so now we are trained.
Welcome back, viewers. If this is your first time to Unstoppable TV and you have not yet hit that subscribe button, please consider hitting the subscribe button now and turn on all notifications. So once we upload a video, you will get notified. So people, Ninja Man has been in lockdown for quite a while, and that simply means that Ninja Man is not supposed to have communication with outside population or outside society, right? But that still don't stop the scammer them from scamming people out of their money. What really go on is, Ninja Man people them reach out and them say, Unstoppable, we need you to make this public that these social media accounts are not in any way affiliated with the Gold Teeth Dan Gargan. No, them not only a scam people out of them hard-earned money, but them are impersonate Ninja Man. Now, if them did create an account saying this is a fan page of Ninja Man, it wouldn't be so bad. But them actually use the man birth name, Desmond Valentine, to create these profiles. Right? That is impersonation. Right? Them use him image, them use him name, and them all upload him content on the pages to make it seem like it is actually Ninja Man doing this. Now, what really pushed Ninja Man family to the limit is when them see that these pages actually promoting dub plate. And I tell people, say, if you want Ninja Man dub plate, then reach out to us and we charge XYZ amount of money. Now, several persons has already been scammed by these scammers, and the people them want to know, say, listen, this is not Ninja Man, and Ninja Man has nothing to do with these scammers on social media. Alright, so if you are in communication with somebody under the name Desmond Valentine or Ninja Man on Facebook or Instagram or wherever platform, be very careful, because it may just not be the Gold Teeth Dan Gargan. Alright, this scammer them out in full force. Believe me, we've seen it happen several times when them impersonate certain social media personality or celebrities out of Jamaica and trick people into thinking that they are the person them attack to and scam people out of them money. Believe it, it even happened to me. Me see even Unstoppable TV profile created over on Instagram and it was not me. And me have to report it to Instagram and get it deleted. Listen. Be very careful of these scammers. Alright? Now, on to another topic. You know Kabaka Pyramid, an artist that is very talented. But have you ever really wondered how him come by the name and how him start to sing the way how him sing? All of these kind of things? Well, this reasoning where Kabaka have right now, I got tell us a whole lot. Let's jump in and take a listen.
Trust me, and I want to tell you, even in prep school, you know, even at Mona, I did, like my mother say, for join the choir, I'm try out for the choir like one time. I'm say, you know, say this is not for me. But anyhow, I did stick with the choir from them time there. Trust me, it would have been a different thing. I always tell people, if me could have really sing, it would have been unfair for everybody else in the music. Because the things them where sometimes things in my head and I can't even sing them back home I hear it in my head. You know. But you know, over time it evolved and obviously my voice has grown a lot over the years. But in a them time they trust me, you know, I hear them song they when me usually record. Like trust me, the singing thing never ready them time there. But so that did kind of facilitate the hip-hop expression for me. I never have to worry about melody or tone or singing. It's just a chat lyrics. You know what I mean? And that was always it for me. It was always about the lyrics. I used to listen to some rapper and some DJ where the song them don't even have no chorus in it. You know what I mean? Me is not the one where me need that catchy chorus or me I listen music just for feel good. It's like me I listen music for hear some rotted lyrics. So me I listen, them think that me I listen music for. So that's why my music is always that kind of vibe. And the hip hop thing just did allow me to express myself in a certain way where even now with how me I do reggae and kind of incorporate the hip hop style in the reggae, it still you still kind of get put in a certain boxes when you're writing songs with reggae. But with hip hop, I find some my mind, my mental space just open up a lot more when I'm writing. You know what I mean? It's like if you listen to artists like a J. Cole, you're gonna hear him write and rap about certain things where them things that does not go appear in like a typical reggae song or a dancehall artist song or them kind of things. So it's like I did very appreciative of that with hip hop music, and that's why I still love it and still mess around with little rapping here and there, even though reggae is the bread and butter and reggae is the focus on the career, and it's still a very powerful way to express the things that I want to express to. So, you know.
So you must remember there was a time where you were going under the name Ronnie P. Clarks, it was?
Yes. That's a fact. That's accurate.
Go back again. From that, and then after that came Kabaka, right?
Well, all right. So Ronnie P. Clarks was the rapping name.
Yes.
This was around like 2002 to maybe 2004, 2005. And then 2005 now, that's when I found the name Kabaka.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing with the Kabaka vibes now is that, you know, as a Rasta youth, we want an African name. You know what I mean? We not really idealize the colonial name we hand down from slavery and them kind of thing. Like nobody never named salmon in Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did always want to find an African name. And when I found that, I felt like that Rastafari African spirit in the name more relatable to my reggae side. Cause them time you know, my voice improve a little more. I may do more reggae songs. I may feel more confident with my reggae. But it's like the rapping just took on a totally different persona than the reggae side. So it's like I was still Ronnie P doing the hip hop, but then I was Kabaka doing the reggae.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that is when it really kind of split into two different approaches with the music. And then around 2005, around the same time with Kabaka is when I started reading and studying about ancient Egypt too. So that's where the pyramid come in.
Yes.
And it's like the pyramid aspect now, that did seem more in alignment with the hip hop side, because I found myself more freely able to rap about like stuff that I was studying in ancient Egypt. Like it would have come out easier in the hip hop side. You know what I mean? So if you listen some of my hip hop tracks from them time, there's some deep thing me I talk about, and so the pyramid did kind of relate more to the hip hop. So the P in a Ronnie P, I never know what the P stand for. I just like how the name sound. So eventually I realized that the P is for pyramid. You know what I mean? So that was Ronnie Pyramid doing the hip hop. And then Aini Kabaka. Aini is a word where this Rasta man, where I know he actually passed. I just found out he passed away recently, named Leather Lightning. And him he never used to say Irie, he used to say Aini, everything Aini. You know, so it's like, and he's a man where I did rate still, and them man they not cook with no salt, him not use no sugar, him not use no oil, or straight coconut milk and them thing that said, and them is like, me did kind of have him as like a role model for me, certain way. Yeah. So like me did take on the Aini as Aini Kabaka. You know what I mean? So that was the reggae side kind of cemented there, and the hip hop was Ronnie Pyramid. So that went on for maybe about 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
So tell me now, I mean, so you've been doing this for a long time, right? And there's been different forms and evolution, and you've grown. But I mean, I remember back in the day, before the big boss will put it, there was, I remember used to have shows at like Edna Manley and
Yeah,
Booker T
man.
and just small kind of vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then of course it evolved now where you're on world stages. But I would assume, so correct me if I'm wrong, that there would have been times along the journey before getting to where you are now where there might have been discouragement. There might have been, what me about to do this for? There might be looking into audience and only seeing 10, 15 people. Like how couples deal with it. And half of the time, those 10, 15 people were like me, Natalie, Terry, like
The crew.
Yeah. I mean, we're there from a long time, right? So
Of course.
there must have been times where you felt like, boy, me can't bother.
Alright, so I'm gonna give you the answer where you want, but I'm not gonna give you it right now.
Give me the answer that is true to you.
The answer that is true to me is that I never had the big plans for all of this. It's like for me, it's just a journey. So even if a show did have 30 people, it's like me not have no expectations of 500. So it's like that 30 there was like a blessing for we, you know what I mean? Especially in them early days where I wasn't making no money off of music. I never have no songs on the radio. Me just them time they were just excited for share with art with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and you know, we go through a whole heap of things. Like for me personally, when you talk about mental health, it's like I remember a period when I was in Orlando. This is same 2005.
Yeah.
So this is before we reach back on like the manifesto days and all the Edna Manley where you are talking about.
Yeah.
It was actually 2005. I started having a relationship with anxiety. You know what I mean? And I used to get these like panic attacks and all kind of thing, and for me it was actually like related to smoking. You know, I
Yeah.
usually get like chest pain and all of them kind of thing, and to the point where I did have to stop smoke. I stopped smoking in 2006. And even after that, me usually still get these random panic attacks and all of them kind of thing. And me I talk like where your heart a beat and a race for like 3 hours and you feel like you got dead kind of thing, you know. Like, you know what I mean? And that, for me, that was probably the hardest period in my life to go through, because when you go through things like that, and the thing about it for me, I never felt like, you know, like people say, oh, them stressed out or them depressed or them get anxiety. I never really felt like that. I just felt like I wasn't sure what was happening in my body at the time. And it's like, that alone was so frustrating. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm perfectly healthy. Otherwise, cause I did all go hospital one time and them check all my thing them and them say nothing no wrong with me. I go regular doctor, them say nothing, but it's like I'm just still having this problem. You know what I mean? And it's not until I reach back Jamaica and I buck up on Dr. Sebi and I start to realize that even though I've been vegan for, at the time, maybe 5 years, it's like there was still a lot of things that I was eating that wasn't necessarily good for me. You know, and it's literally his alkaline diet is what I went on, like strictly. I was, all the grains and everything I was eating was, I stopped eating wheat and like, you know, like flour and all of them kind of thing, they just cut it out. I'm gonna stop use oil. I stopped cooking with oil. I just like me, I steam a callaloo with water and all of them kind of thing, and I boil out some millet to eat with it and them thing, then like spelt and some other type of grains. And after a few months, I just noticed I stop get, like I just fully was in control, like I not get no random panic attacks and all of them kind of thing, and it just, trust me, you know, anxiety is a thing where it happens to everybody in various ways, and you know, anything can happen and it can trigger back some of those memories of what you went through and them kind of things. So I'm not gonna say I am anxiety free, but at the same time, be going through that stage and kind of getting over that hump and knowing, say, yeah, you can kind of get your life back, and you not have to be like out just in your head and your body going through all kind of thing, and you can't tell nobody because you know what I mean? Like, we go through all of them thing there. We go through all of them thing there, and it's like, it's so crazy that literally when I started to get over them thing there, that's around the time when my music career started to take off as well. You know what I mean? Like 2011, them time they know it's like, yeah, my life on track now, I'm doing what I want to do. And maybe there were circumstances around it, that things that were happening in my life that maybe when those things pass, it kind of help to deal with it. Yeah. But, you know, it's like you never really know what is the actual source of them. I never got to like no psychiatrist and get no we just kind of figure it out on my own. But what one thing that really helped me though in the heat of it was literally going in like a chat forum and seeing other people talking about the anxiety where them go through. And like, and one thing that did help me is I realized that I felt I was going through like bad anxiety, but when I start reading what some other people are going through, it's like, I say, yo, the thing is so serious. And that is a thought that's a thought that I use as an anchor whenever I'm going through anything in life. Like, one, everybody is going through something. Just because somebody smiling and them look happy and everybody going through something. And then the other side of it is like, you might feel like you are going through the worst thing, but there's somebody out there going through worse and them toughing it out. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's them thoughts that help me over the years and just, you know, allow me to maintain a certain balance.
Yes. So what I hear you saying so far is gratitude. You mentioned, you know, the fact that you weren't necessarily looking at the audience and getting discouraged. You were just grateful to be there. Yes. Performing in your art, right? I also hear you talking about trusting the process and just, you never necessarily had a big vision, but you knew that this is what you're going to do, so you trust that, you know, it was. Of course. I also hear you talking about the fact that you found comfort in knowing that you weren't the only one going through what you went through, because oftentimes when people go through different mental health issues, it feels like it's you alone. You feel like you can't talk to anybody, and therefore knowing that there are other people going through it to varying degrees helps you, as you say, anchor yourself.
Definitely, definitely is key.
About the food mood, what we call as psychologists and mental health practitioners is the food mood connection. Okay. What you eat into your body also affects how you feel, how you think, how your body works, right? And for you, you found a diet that works for you, that keeps you balanced, that, you know, there's no more crippling feelings of anxiety or panic attack. Exactly. Right? So that is a very big connection that you made within yourself, right? And it will happen to varying degrees with different people because our body chemistries are different. So what that works for you might not work for me.
For sure.
Yeah, and we also spoke about the fact that for you, smoking, you attributed the smoking to the feelings of anxiety. And I saw somebody made a comment in the chat, so I don't know if you want to address that question, asking, and this would be your opinion, of course, if you would say that smoking is bad or not good for everybody.
Well, I can tell you, I know a lot of people who smoke every day, who never go through what I going through. You know, people who are born weed till them in them 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? So it just depends. It just depends on your body chemistry. Yes. And for me, You know, I believe in things on a spiritual level too. I feel like everybody has karma that they're coming into each life with, and you know, depending on your karma, we have certain lessons that we have to go through, and illness is just a way to learn a certain lesson. You know, it's like whatever it is that we go through, whether it's pain or whether it's anxiety or whether it's, you know, other forms of mental illness, these are our lessons, and the real challenge is how to deal with it and how to ensure that we don't have to go through it in the future, whether in the future, in this life or in our next life. So for me, it just depends. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the lungs were made to intake smoke.
Yeah.
You know, I feel, yeah, you know, like just plain and straight. You know what I mean? It's not a natural thing for your lungs to experience smoke. Like certain effects that we feel from smoke, I have read that the effects that we feel is actually the effect of the body trying to eliminate it from the body. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to get rid of the substances that we put in, so we feel a certain euphoria or a certain sensation, or like, you know, like things like the eyes getting red is never like a good thing. You know, when your eyes red, it's showing that there is some toxin in your body or something like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's that way of looking at it. But at the same time, I know that ganja is one of the most powerful plants on the planet, and it's a natural plant. It just depends on how you intake it, because I feel like I never started really using my mind and my brain to the fullest extent until I started smoking. I feel like I was just living life kind of I just didn't think about certain things. It just didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I never used to have deep processing thoughts about certain things. It's like ganja just opened up my mind. My thought process just deepened so much. You know what I mean? So, some people are less inclined to a kind of cerebral mindset, a kind of deep thinking mindset. So maybe herb might not have that same effect on them. But for me, it just unlocked a totally more in-depth kind of way of processing life. And I don't feel like you have to keep using the herb to maintain that. It's like once that switch is flipped, it's like it flipped permanent for me. You know, and, you know, there's other aspects too. I feel like if something is medicine, like I feel all herbs are medicine. Yes. Like you use them to correct something. You know what I mean? You don't take medicine recreationally. You know what I mean? And then depend on it to feel good. That is a major issue. Like a lot of people use herb as a coping mechanism because stresses and depression and all of them kind of thing. But I don't feel like it is made to be a crutch. You know, you're supposed to use it to heal something, and then you have to allow your body to heal by correcting the causes of the issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to look at what is causing that stress and take control of your life, rather than just using a herb now to and making that external thing be the balancing force. We have to look into our life and know how to balance things out internally.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, so.
Yeah. So, like you said, I mean, everybody's body chemistry is different. So, I don't, if it is smoking or ingesting in whatever form, that might work for you, that might not work for you. And
exactly.
You have to know their bodies. I can tell you that this girl cannot manage marijuana in any kind of form. I left it multiple times. There are stories, whether it is anything that will get
no, trust me, it's the same with me. It's like I feel like the first anxiety that I had, it was while I was smoking. So I feel like there's a traumatic association with the THC, and it's not even like a mental thing. I think it's more physiological for me. Like that trauma just imprinted itself in my body. So from from my intake the herb is like my body just spazzing out, trying to like say, yo, what you doing? Like all kind of warning signals. Even though in my head I'm like, all right, like why is this happening? You know what I mean? It's like not like I'm panicking in my head, but it's like I feel the sensations in my body, like, and it's just that's what anxiety is. It's just really your body warning you that something isn't how it's supposed to be, and like it's supposed to be like a fight or flight kind of instinct thing, like, you know what I mean? Get out of a situation kind of thing. So our body holds that memory.
Yes. You know? The body keeps the score.
Exactly.
Trauma is kept in our body. Trauma of any form, you remember it in your body.
For sure.
Definitely true. And of course, you did speak to the fact that marijuana has medicinal usage. I mean, right now in the field of mental health, we're using CBD for anxiety, for depression. It's used for pain management.
Epilepsy.
Yeah. So there's an upside to everything. But like you said, you have to know what works for you.
Exactly.
You know? Exactly. Some of that might come through experimentation, unfortunately, yes, but finding the balance. I like the fact that you said finding the balance, you know?
Exactly. No, for sure.
That's very important. So how else do you find balance now that, you know, you are touring all the time? Well, maybe not now because of COVID. But,
certainly that.
But you tour in the studio, you're doing whatever. And how do you maintain that sense of balance? And what is your self-care strategy? What do you do to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally?
Well, I have a little exercise routine I've been doing. I've been practicing yoga for like maybe about 15 years now. You know, on and off, kind of just on my own. You know, I'm not like a yoga instructor or anything, but I can, you know, I know certain postures that work for my body, and I kind of know what works and what make me feel like I'm in alignment. Yes. You know, meditation is a thing that I dabble into. I read a lot. You know, I always see myself as a truth seeker. So you know, I read a lot of books that they can be very dense at times because they're talking about like complicated stuff, like you know, as it relates to the world of spirit and our place in evolution and things like that. So I read a lot of books like that. Them books, they kind of like there's a fire inside of me for understanding things on that level, and certain type of authors, them know how to quench that thirst where I have. So definitely reading is a major part of my routine. You know, sometimes I got spells where I don't feel like reading for like a couple weeks or so, and that's usually when I'm more writing. So it's like reading is when I'm taking in information, and like writing, recording is when I'm kind of putting out. So there's usually a back and forth balance when it comes to them two things there. Yeah. And just making music for me is just therapeutic. Like, you know, making beats, you know, rhythms, production, recording. You know, I always have a home studio. So anywhere I'm at, I can record, I can produce, I can, you know, if I get an inspiration, I can act on it. You know what I mean? And yeah, my life for cook, my life for prepare food. You know, me and my mother messing around with some patio gardening right now, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean, we just have to find ways to maintain the balance, because you know, I eat a pretty strict diet, so the more you can grow your own food is the better. Okay, you know? Agreed.
Yeah, so exercise is important. Reading, you know, or engaging in whatever hobby you enjoy. Mm-hmm. Meditation and mindfulness is definitely something that we as practitioners recommend as well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, spending some time in silence, you know, just being with yourself. It doesn't have to be long. And of course, the wonderful thing about technology now, there's different apps. You can go on YouTube to find meditation and mindfulness exercises, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, them
I
have the
always,
tones and the frequencies and all them things they know too.
yeah, yeah. So I always recommend Headspace or Calm to my clients. Or like I said, you can find all of the things on YouTube. You know, we're in an age now where everything is at our fingertips.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what kind of situations do you recommend meditation and mindfulness for? Like with your clients or your patients?
Yeah. I mean, I recommend mindfulness and meditation to everybody, not just
general.
You know, not if you have a particular issue, because it is a time where you get to be still, you get to not always slow down your thoughts, but you get to observe your thoughts. Because, for example, persons who live with anxiety or have anxious minds, part of their problem is that they want their minds to stop going so fast or to stop going. Meditation helps you to do is not only to slow down the thoughts, but also to detach yourself as an observer and look at your thoughts like you would imagine there are clouds passing by in the sky. And you're just observing your thoughts, you're not engaging them, you're not judging. A lot of people judge the way that they think. So you're not judging your thoughts, you're just observing your thoughts, because the brain's job is to think. So we have stimuli us all the time. So your brain is going to just be ruminating about certain things or just having all these random thoughts. So meditation helps to slow that down a little bit. You know?
For sure. I think a lot of what we experience comes down to like what we identify with as the self. You know, I feel like a lot of us identify with our mind as a self and like that thought machine, you know what I mean, with the brain, but that's a tool that our self uses. You know what I mean? Like we are present within that and outside of that as well, and meditation is a way to actually become aware of that. You know what I mean? That existence separate from your body, separate from, you know, what we think our mind is, you know what I mean, and the thought processes and all of these things. There's a hidden aspect where our true identity really lies, and until you close out the outside world, because the outside world, in the world of perception, that is what all our thoughts and all our images are based on. Exactly. So the more we look out is the more we identify with that outside world, and the only way to truly begin to know yourself is to lock it off and to look within. So that's really how I see meditation coming into play, and that's the only way you can really get control over your life and your thoughts, and you have to become detached.
Yep, and it takes practice. So I see someone asked in the chat, how do you avoid falling asleep when you meditate? And I have to say, right, so meditation, as much as I recommend it, guys, I have to tell you, it's not easy. It comes with practice, because like I said before, the brain's job is to think. So when you sit in solitude and silence, or you're playing music or whatever, your brain is still processing all of the stimuli. So on one hand, you may have persons who can't get their minds to be still. So 1 minute is, let me think about the day that I had. Then you're thinking about what to cook for dinner. Then you're thinking about a memory from 10 years before.
You know, for sure, random.
Pop up in your head, you know. So it comes with practice. It's not an easy feat.
I think mantras help. Mantras help with it too. Like it gives you
playing them, looping them in the background, or saying them.
Or you saying them, or mentally saying them. It gives your mind something to focus on, as opposed to going all over the place with the thoughts. You know what I mean? And the next, what I want to say quick, the next thing for me, like I find if I try and meditate lying down and it's late, I'm probably gonna fall asleep. Like them have what them call the Egyptian method, where you kind of sit down and you like, I don't know if you can sit, but you just get a chair with like maybe a chair back, and you just sit down with your hands like this. And from you meditate like this, for me, it go hard to fall asleep in that position.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You're sitting up. So That's one of the thing them where I learned very quickly. So the lying down way, that is a good way to fall asleep.
Yes. So that's a tip for the person who asked, as well as I would also say be patient with yourself. Like I said, it takes practice. So if you meditate and you find that you're falling asleep, I mean, personally, I think that's a good thing, because if you can quiet your mind enough in a meditation session to fall asleep, I mean, I think that shows a level of calmness. But you also have to be patient with yourself, because it's a process, it's a practice. So if you do it and you can do it for 3 minutes consistently, then when you try for 10 minutes and you don't get the 10 minutes, then that's okay. We have to be patient with ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I agree, definitely. Because, like, I find, like, I'm somebody who get, like, massage and them thing pretty often. You know, like, even Natalie, like, she bad for the massage and them thing. But, like, for me, it's like I can never fall asleep during a massage, because my mind is just going. One, I'm obviously enjoying the massage because it, you know what I mean, it feel good to get that pressure release and them thing there. But what my find say, I'm a very active thinker. So as you just to strengthen your point, that if you're actually falling asleep, then that's a good thing. That means say your mind not racing and them kind of thing. You're activated a level of calm, which some people meditate because them can't sleep. You know what I mean? And maybe it can help them with that, but you know, it just depends.
Yeah. And someone says, young Jock, I think, do you need music or do you need silence? You can do either one. You can do either one, or you can do like Kabaka said, you can be saying the mantras out loud or repeating them in your head. You can do it. You have to find what works for you. I don't think there's a hard and fast science to it. I think you have to find what works for you, because I know that when I meditate with music, or my attempts at meditation with music, it doesn't help. Right? Because depending on the type of music, I'm going to start engaging with the music. But then the silence, sometimes that's when you find the thoughts coming in more. So you have to find what works for you. That's what I would say.
Yeah, same with me. It's like, you know, if it's music, it have to be like, you know, dedicated meditation music, like just some soothing sounds. It's not like a beat is playing or anything like that. Them things that can help. But it just depends on what you're trying to achieve with the meditation too. Because, you know, some people, how I learned about meditation, you know, is by an ancient Egypt, like an author who specializes in ancient Egypt, and he has a meditation system, and the aim for his system is for you to go into a trance state. You know what I mean? And in that state now you can create scenarios where you can basically augment your behavioral patterns by putting yourself in certain situations, like how they would do experiments with like basketball players, where they put them in a hypnotic state or a trance state, and then they visualize themselves shooting every free throw and scoring. And then after doing that a certain amount of times, they would show an increase in them free throw percentage. So him using a kind of science like that, and now if say for instance, like you get angry at this person a lot for a certain reason, you can then visualize yourself in that trance state, that heightened state, where you don't get angry, or you're in a peaceful kind of vibe with that person. And then doing that over and over, you can kind of augment your behavioral pattern and them things. So when I just start learn to meditate and them things, that my main aim was trying to get into this trance state, and because it's so difficult for me, because I'm such a, like I call it an active thinker. I don't know if there's a term for it or whatever, but I'm very much in my thoughts. It's like I feel like there's this letting go that you have to do to be able to even, like, you know what I mean, just free up and kind of come out of this very conscious state to a kind of beta or theta or whatever them call those kind of mental states. So it just depends on what if you're just meditating because you just want to relax, or you want to calm down, or you just want to feel like you're in a little more control of your thoughts, then maybe music can help with that. But if you're really on some super spiritual quest or some pursuit, then maybe silence or some mantras, like you see how the yogis them in India have them mantras for certain specific things, like them have mantras for different types of initiations and all of them kind of things. So just kind of gain a little more control over the mind, or more peace of mind and them kind of things. So it just depends.
All right, and then PSB, is that Pia? Asked about how do you know if anxiety, let me scroll back up, what indicators are there to show that the anxiety being experienced is not healthy, especially when one adjusts to anxiety being the norm? I would say that for us as clinicians, what we would say is anxiety or any other mental health issue becomes a problem when it starts to disrupt your functioning, right? So you're functioning in any kind of realm, social, occupational, your physical functioning. Unfortunately or fortunately, some people learn to function and continue. Hi, Pia. Some people continue to function with the anxiety or the depression, and we call those people high functioning, and it's not something that we necessarily want to have as a goal either, you know. No. But at the same time, anxiety, depression, anything becomes a problem when it starts to disrupt your functioning in any kind of area. But if you realize that you can cope with it without it disrupting your functioning, but you're still aware enough to know that it's a problem, then that is when you would need to seek the help and to do the different self-care strategies and, you know, whatever it is. And of course, I would recommend professional help when you recognize that something is outside of, you know, your scope of control. That's what I would say. I want to ask you one last question that you can tell me how important social support is for you and how important it has been on your journey.
Well, as you know, my social support has been there right through from high school. You know, my team is based on, you know, long-time friends, and obviously that has kept me grounded over the years and, you know, kept me focused on the goals and not. I think like for me, the family-oriented nature of how our team is, that keep things on a real level where it's like it has never felt like work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has never really like been about the money. It's just about doing what we want to do and doing what we love doing. So because there's I think that social support for me take off that pressure of just the demands of the industry and all of them things. And at the end of the day, it's like when you're going through hardships, when you can look to your right and look to your left and see people where you know have your back, like to the end, like, you know what I mean? That just help you. That help you navigate. Like when we are drive for 20 hours in a Europe and them thing there, and you know what I mean? It's like we go from Italy to like Portugal. You know what I mean? And some crazy drive. It's like when you have that support system, it just allow you to, like, we are reason about football, we are reason about all kind of thing. If it was people when I never really know and trust certain ways, like I couldn't be comfortable on certain level. You know what I mean? And I think that is a key thing with having the support system. Like, you know, some people is them family members, you know, some people is friends, some people don't have no friends, some people is like, you know, them work or them church or whatever, that is them community or them family. But whatever it is, you know, I don't believe that we're meant to exist on our own. I feel like we're social beings, you know what I mean, as human beings. And I mean, you definitely you definitely have to open yourself up to a little vulnerability dealing with people as well.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because a lot of people just stay reclusive because we don't want nobody to pray, we don't want nobody to see we you know what I mean, we're not so positive side and all of them kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely feel like the benefits of having a good social, what you call it? Support system. I think the benefits definitely outweigh any kind of thing where you could have been praying. Is like, it's so necessary.
Yeah, and like I always tell persons, you should have at least one person, even if it's just one one person in your life that you feel like you can go to about anything, and they won't judge you. Because a lot of it is that we fear the judgment, you know, that vulnerability. With vulnerability means that there's the possibility of being judged. So we should all have at least one person that we know won't ever judge us. Yeah.
No, man. Sure. For me, I have like a team of people where if I go through this kind of thing, I link that person there. If I go through this kind of thing, I message that person there. You know what I mean? If I have this kind of joke when I find funny, I know say, all right, so and so and so, I gotta find that one you're funny. So, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just so many kind of work, my system, you know? And it definitely help keep me balanced. Because if you just keep everything to yourself, them are gonna start manifesting as pains and all kind of things in your body, and you have to let them go.
Yes. Yup. So big up Dwayne, big up Abby. Bomb Squad time bomb.
Representing. Man.
You know what I remember today? I wonder if either you or Abby got cross it out.
What?
No, girl.
No. Don't say that.
I remember that today. I was so ashamed.
Yo.
First member of Bomb Squad, of Time Bomb or whatever.
No, we were probably protecting you because you see Bomb Squad now. Remember say we did have the fight club, you know, by the telephone booth, you know.
Yes.
So if you're gonna be a part of Bomb Squad, you have to enter the fight club. You know what I mean? So we couldn't, you know what I mean? We couldn't cross those lines, and we have to maintain the pretty face them and everything. So it's like, you know what I mean? Remember when I fight Beckles in the fight club, and the man was like maybe 6-7 inches taller than me, you know? And it's like I say, yo, still I fight that youth here, you know? And the man swing and thump me in my lip and bust my lip. There I forget stitches.
Yo. Their foolishness. Just, oh my gosh.
Yo, we used to do some ice, like behind the third farm block. We usually do like some man for themselves all out brawl, you know. We're like 20 and we just dead and we just like man, somebody jump, kick and fly through the air and just thump a man son, a thump a next man son. Plus them was the days.
Yes, the good old days.
Them was the day. Salada kick when we play upon the badminton court. Scrimmage with Salada kick. That was the worst thing.
I used to get liquid at football there, you know.
No, we usually use the tennis ball most of the time too.
Whatever ball it was, I used to get liquid it sometimes.
Yeah, because on always a par right behind it, you know what I mean, how we play.
Alexis said before we go study our book. Alexis, you was in the foolishness too, so whatever it is.
Bomb Squad, yo, trust me.
Back in the day, buffet. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
In the time, because I don't want it cut off. So can you, before we go, you just give a word of encouragement to everybody that's on now, especially, you know, we're going through this global pandemic and we know that comes with a load of things, and some people managing and some people not so managing. So give us some words of encouragement to take us out, please.
So how I like to look on and trials and tribulations in life. It's like at the end of the day, when all is said and done and our lives are being evaluated, all that really matters is what we learn from the things that we go through. It don't matter how much pain we did experience or how sick we were, or you know what I mean? It's just what did we learn throughout the process. That is the real weight that we carry. You know what I mean? And that what we learn throughout these things, that is what I got determine how, you know what I mean, how we are going to exist in a future state. You know what I mean? Whatever people believe in, whether it's reincarnation or heaven or hell or whatever, is what we go through in these moments and how we deal with it. You know what I mean? If you do something bad to somebody, apologize, forgive. If somebody do something bad to you, forgive, because it's what we learn from it that really matters. If you just hold on to the anger and you hold on to them things, that them going manifest as all kind of things later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, we're going through a whole heap of things as a planet right now, but all of these things are ordained, and you know, we can't make everything that's happening get to our head. We have to find ways to balance, find ways, even if you have to distract yourself.
Alright, so one thing about that, that was a great reasoning with Kabaka, right? The man talk about a whole lot of things, and I like it. You see, a reasoning like them, yeah, my life is sit down and listen to, right? When people speak consciousness, when people be them real selves, me like it like that. You like it, right? If you like that reasoning, talk to me down in the comment section. Let me know what is your thoughts or views on this whole video. Alright, this has been another one from Unstoppable TV. Like, share, comment, and if this is your first time here and you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button now and turn on all notifications. Once we upload a video, you will get notified. No matter what, don't let nobody stop you. I'm unstoppable, and I'm out.
Right now, you know we unstoppable.